here we go on to the final part of Joshua. Thank you for joining me today. Okay, alright, let's go ahead and do a quote here. This is also from Max Beerbohm, 1872 to 1956, and it reads, "Only the insane take themselves quite seriously." This is from Lord David Cecil, Max, 1964. Only the insane take themselves quite seriously. Alright, so we have to ask ourselves a question. Does Joshua take himself quite seriously? Did Moses take himself quite seriously? Did Jesus, we haven't even spoken about yet, take himself quite seriously? So it might be somewhat of a harsh thing to call these people insane, rather, right? It might be somewhat harsh, but there probably is some sort of truth that lies within this. To be insane means to be detached from reality in a certain way. And yes, I will go ahead and do the definition so we have an understanding. It's in a state of mind which prevents normal perception, behavior, or social interaction. So for these leaders who maybe otherwise would not be leaders, for them to stand up and guide a people and to lead a people, it does not take a normal perception, behavior, or social interaction. And it also requires that necessary detachment from reality for them to have this connection with the Lord, to have a very spiritual undertaking about them, right? And then it does say at the end of this definition, after a semicolon, it says seriously mentally ill. So again, it's definitely a harsh way to phrase that definition, and in the quote to call these people or those who take their life seriously insane. I would say I take myself seriously, but then again, you do see me joking on here quite a bit and, trying to find light in a lot of situations that may otherwise be dark. And do I think sometimes I feel insane? Tell you who's insane. Yes, I think sometimes I do feel a little insane. But not any more insane than these two wild things over here running all around. But anyways, that is just, a kind of interesting quote to start to think about the nature of these leaders. Maybe not even these biblical leaders here, but also maybe the kings that had existed at the time. For them to take their kingship so seriously and rule so vigorously, you have to be a little bit insane. It reminds me of the Mad King. They're just having the most grand old time right now. Sorry. Alright, so let's go ahead and begin with chapter 24, and we're going to wrap it up within the same chapter. Joshua is going to continue his sermon. Here it says, "Then Joshua assembled all the tribes of Israel at Shechem. He summoned all the elders, leaders, judges, and officials of Israel, and they presented themselves before God. Joshua said to all the people, 'This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Long ago your ancestors, including Terah, the father of Abraham, and Nahor, lived beyond the Euphrates River and worshipped other gods. And then the Lord is going into the Lord's words, right? When I took your father Abraham from the land beyond the Euphrates, and led him throughout Canaan, and gave him many descendants, I gave him Isaac, and to Isaac I gave Jacob and Esau. I assigned the hill country of Seir to Esau, but Jacob and his family went down to Egypt. Then I sent Moses and Aaron, and I afflicted the Egyptians by what I did there. I brought you out. But when I brought your people out of Egypt, you came to the sea, and the Egyptians pursued them with chariots and horsemen as far as the Red Sea. But when they cried out to the Lord for help, and he put darkness between you and the Egyptians, he brought the sea over them and covered them. You saw it with their own eyes, what I did to the Egyptians. Then you lived in the wilderness for a long time. So pause right here. He's going into the Lord's words, right? Again, to have that disconnect with the reality. Maybe he is reading from a transcript or something about what was recorded. I'm not entirely sure. Or he's just quoting through the connection of the Lord. He's just quoting his words. Possible either way. I wasn't there to tell you. So, possible either way. Let's go ahead and wrap this, but something I want to point out here. The Lord is saying, when you cried out to the Lord, that is when he steps in, right? Something to remember even for today. When you cry out to the Lord, that is where he steps in. And we can cry out to the Lord in many forms, but in this case, it was quite literally them crying, praying to the Lord. For me, it's oftentimes asking questions or reading the text. That is my way. And then, of course, I've really recently, over the past few years, have integrated the prayer. Probably the past three or 4 years or so. Be nice. Air Force. Something about today, you guys. Let's wrap this up. Joshua continues. It was the Lord our God himself who brought us out of Egypt, from that land of slavery, and he performed those great signs before our eyes. He protected us on our entire journey among all the nations through which we traveled. And Joshua recorded these things in the book of the law of God. Then he took a large stone and set it up there under the oak tree, the holy place of the Lord. See, he said, so sorry, you guys, we're almost done. See, he said to all the people, this stone will be a witness against us. It has heard all the words the Lord has said to us. It will be a witness against you if you were untrue to your God. After these things, Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died at the age of 110. All right. Air Force, can you be nice to her, please? She's scared and yelling at you. Come here. He's being a fresh pet. He's being a very fresh pet. Look at him. They're both panting. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. This is such a serious moment. But anyways, Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died at the age of 110. Very, very somber moment there. But again, a good, long, full life of true purpose. True, insane purpose, right? And again, we want to go ahead and reflect on this warning here. He sets a stone as a witness against them. He's saying this stone has heard all the words the Lord God has said to us. And he's saying this will be a witness if you are untrue to your God. Of course, God will be the witness himself. But again, it's a reminder to the people. And again, he said it has heard all the words the Lord has said to us. So that does give us some inferences that the Lord was being channeled, the words of the Lord was being channeled through Joshua during this sermon, much like it was for Moses as well. That is it, you guys. I don't have much to say about that, but we're remembering, right, this covenant and, what the Israelites are not supposed to do. It's almost been said so many times where it eventually will fall upon deaf ears, and we will learn about that in the book of Judges, which we will cover next off. All right. Well, I hope you have a great morning and enjoy your Saturday. Thank you so much for listening, and goodbye.